Hello, and welcome to the C Show. Today's cold open, I want to talk about Big Pound and the legend of the Butt Crack Bandit. Now, back in 2014, a man went onto Reddit and he uploaded various pictures of himself that he had a friend take of him at a Richmond, Virginia Magic the Gathering tournament. They were all of him in front of dudes' butt cracks. Now, I'm showing Connor here a selection, and we'll put this up on Instagram. I will definitely make a video about this. Here's the second set of photos coming up on the screen.
So this was back in 2014.
This is 2014, okay. Richmond, Virginia. The man here with the beard is what will be known as the butt crack. He will be known as the Butt Crack Bandit eventually. And so his goal was, he just went around, and this is kind of a diss on Magic the Gathering players. But he was pointing out, their lack of hygiene and general uncleanliness. And after this post came out, it went viral. It was covered on Sports Illustrated. Yeah, I know.
Wait,
right?
It was on Sports Illustrated?
It was on Sports Illustrated back when they had writers.
Oh,
and
my God.
He got banned immediately, right? And so I have a picture now of the Butt Crack Bandit crying. So I'm going to just read this out. This is a Reddit post from Magic, or the subreddit r/MagicTCG. Crack style ban. This is March 2014, 11 years ago. Quote, "Hey guys, I've been reading around on Twitter and just saw a ban on the crack style guy who posted behind folks at GP Richmond whose cracks were showing. What does Magic TCG think about this? A just ban? An overreaction? I definitely don't like the idea of someone making fun of others at a large event like this, especially because Magic players already carry an overarching stereotype that I feel the community as a whole should try to defy if we can." And then he links a couple of posts, and the top comment here is from user MonoBlue. "MTG needs the borrow part of the L5R's floor rules. Quote, appearance and hygiene. It is not possible to list what the appropriate dress is for every occasion. The important thing to keep in mind is the comfort of others." Basically just like, hey, take a shower, wear clean clothes, pull up your pants. But every hero has a redemption arc. In 2015, he was unbanned from Magic tournaments. He posted on Reddit, this is him, the Butt Crack Bandit himself. But now, 10 years later, you're wondering, what's the Butt Crack Bandit up to? He takes his revenge. He's a wrestler now.
Stop.
Going by Big Pound.
That's why we did this?
This is why we did this.
Oh, my God.
But I just thought this was an incredible story that covered many of our beats.
Oh, my God.
Butt cracks, wrestling, internet celebrity.
Good for him. I don't know what else to say. Good for him. I'm glad he got unbanned, and I hope he's out hooping now, I guess. I don't know. I got nothing against him. Like, I also suffer from that occasionally, being thick. Sometimes it just happens. I wouldn't love it to be posted on the internet, but, you get what you leave out there.
Yeah, no. I have what's known as a Hank Hill ass, I feel like. If you've seen the television program King of the Hill, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I would also be like, oh my gosh, if this guy's going around taking pictures of my butt crack, I got to pull my pants up. But Big Pound, I want to shout out to, let me pull this up in the notes here. I want to shout out, I saw this on Instagram. This was Wrestling Revolver, I believe, is the promotion that he's a part of. But also shout out to PW Ponderings as well for getting the coverage on that and letting everybody know about that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the Butt Crack Bandit, Big Pound?
It continues to seem like one of the most important things is just get yourself known for something.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost anything, it appears. But hey, good for him. Like, he went out, he's doing his thing. He's, I suppose living his dream now, I assume, is what he was building towards. So, I hope he's killing it, doing his thing.
Yeah.
Maybe he keeps climbing and we see him, maybe around Philly one day. Heck, maybe he makes the big dance. We'll see how it goes for him.
Big Pound, if you're out there, this is an open call for an interview. You are welcome on the C Show at any time.
Absolutely.
If you have video, we want to see it. We want to talk about it. I will have my friend who is a Magic the Gathering nerd tell us how to play Magic, and we'll talk about that with you. But, like, we're fans of you, Big Pound, if you're out there. Welcome to The C Show. All right, welcome back to the C Show. We're here. We're talking about wrestling. I'm Charlie.
I'm Connor.
And today we're talking about the start of the WWE's 2025 European swing here at the beginning of the year. And so SmackDown last Friday was in Barcelona, Spain, España. Barcelona, Catalunya, España. All of my Spanish teachers were taught in Catalunya, and so
sorry,
I know. And then I'd go down and talk to my grandpa's Mexican friends, and they'd be like, your Spanish is too nice, and I'm like, yes, okay, all right. So they were in Barcelona at the Palau Municipal de Esports de Badalona. Now you may be wondering, where is Badalona? Badalona is actually a suburb of Barcelona. It's about 10-20 minutes northwest of the city. What I thought was really funny is Badalona. It's like if Philly had a suburb called Philadelphia. I
didn't even think about that.
Yeah, but the Palau Municipal was a basketball arena built for the '92 Olympics. The Dream Team specifically played there. Currently, it is home to Club Juventud Badalona SAD. I hope I said that correctly. They're a basketball club. Guess who one of their most prominent alumni are?
Who?
Ricky Rubio.
Oh, Ricky Rubio?
Ricky Rubio.
Oh, hell yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And another thing, and we'll talk about it probably later, but Lamine Yamal was at the show. He was one of the big celebrities.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
Lamine Yamal is basically the new talent at Barcelona, at FC Barcelona, the football club. He's 20. He's already won a Euros with Spain. He's probably going to win a World Cup before he's 30. He's incredibly good. And immediately, one thing that I noticed was the Street Profits showing up in a Real Madrid shirt in Barcelona. And we'll talk about this later in the show when Gunther mentions it. But don't do that. Don't. It's not like wearing a Yankees fan or a Yankees hat in Boston. It's much more than that. All right. But we're going to start off the show with LA Knight C.
Yeah. And he comes out on Pi Day. It is Pi Day, I will say.
Oh, it was Pi Day, 3.14, the 14th of March. And LA Knight comes out. He gets the ole, ole, ole from the crowd. And, I was a little disappointed about the crowd in Barcelona, in Badalona. But we'll talk more about the crowd in Brussels. But, yeah. LA Knight starts out with a quick timeout or a quick town hall, and then what happens?
So, like you said, walks in, drinks in the ole ole ole, talks about how it's the first SmackDown that's ever been here, and then says, "I may be the U.S. champ, but goddamn, I'm worldwide." And I'm just still so hooked. I'm still so hooked on LA Knight.
He's great. He's got a great presence, and then the way he brings in the crowd with LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he receives his "You Deserve It" chants. There's been a lot of those going around. Some people are even saying they're overused. They're winning. They're winning. Mm-hmm. They deserve it, and they're great. But then Jimmy Uso comes out.
Yep.
Tells him, "I'm not here to congratulate you. I'm here to tell you I'm desperate."
Jimmy Desperate. That was my note. And he does challenge LA Knight to the title.
So they begin to talk about a challenge here, and then here comes Solo. Solo Sikoa comes out. Everyone's like, "Oh, is he going to throw himself into this?" Immediately keeps with the story that that's been going. And he says, "If anyone deserves a title shot, it's Jacob Fatu," saying that LA Knight stole the pin from Jacob before. That was the only reason that he even had the title match in the first place.
Indeed.
Then Solo goes on to tell Jimmy that he's the disappointment of the family, and then the new bloodline jumps Jimmy and LA Knight. Sorry, go ahead.
But wasn't somebody also mentioned that Sikoa was the failure as well. There was a lot of failure talk going around.
Yeah, I believe Jimmy said my only failure was believing you.
Oh, yes.
I believe it was something of that sort. A lot of the same family dynamics back and forth. Then Strowman comes out to make the save.
Mm-hmm.
The faces all clean house.
Uno grande SOB.
that was absolutely a favorite of mine as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the new bloodline are scampering up the ramp, Nick Aldis comes out and says, well, this is now a 6-man tag match that starts right now.
Right now. And we immediately go into a big brouhaha there. And then we go right into that 6-man tag team match. LA Knight, Braun Strowman, and Jimmy Uso versus Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga.
They let Solo and Jimmy start, which I really liked. They played up the brother angle a lot. Again, just two more of the bloodline and the back and forth of being with the new bloodline, the old bloodline, Roman, OTC, blah, blah, blah. And so much of this theme of this match, which was awesome, was like classic tag team wrestling, the idea of cutting the ring in half.
Yes.
When you are wrestling the other team, keeping it on the half closest to your side to tag your partners in and keep them from tagging. There were a lot of really cool spots where it was trying to make the hot tag or the tag when you're desperate and just him keep getting pulled back to the corner.
Yes.
Fatu ended up using a distraction, taking over before the commercial. When they come back, they like tease an LA Knight tag to Strowman, and Tama pulls him away. But then he kicks the hell out of Tama Tonga, and gets Strowman in on the hot tag.
Yes.
I thought he was going to jump. He was kind of G'ing up in the ring. I thought he was going to dive. I'm like, we're going to see the largest man dive around. I can't wait. He just does the Strowman Express, right? But hits all three of them, gets the hat trick. Strowman ends up hitting the big slam on Tama Tonga, right, and gets the win for them. Yes. But that wasn't the end of the match here.
No, it was not. In my notes, I just put down, like bowling pins crashing down.
Not wrong. Again, just got his full head of steam and just I put it as hat trick. Scores the hat trick.
Because he did 3 of them, right? Where he jumps off the turnbuckle onto a crowd of people. You know Jacob Fatu's eyebrows? How they've got like the slits in them? Yeah. Dude, that must hurt so much when the sweat drips through.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So after the match, Solo jumps Strowman, hits him with a Samoa spike. Knight grabs him. Solo and Knight fight into the crowd. Fatu kicks Jimmy, jumps into the ring, starts beating Strowman. He hits the headbutt and the 3 moonsaults, like you said.
There we go.
And then Fatu runs from the ramp, like they're leaving, and Strowman's outside the ring, kind of placing himself up. And he just comes full speed and puts him through the barricade. Yeah. The same barricade that always breaks by, the timekeeper, but, who's counting?
Yes, and then that was pretty much the end of it. They broke it. The security and the refs all came out, broke it all up. Big stretch, Toby. And then we had a Triple H Hall of Fame promo reel. Like, one of the best intro songs, easily. I mean, like, the story of Jim Johnston being, like, getting the note of, like, it should sound like Motorhead. And then, like, he's like, well, what if we could just get Motorhead? And Vince is like, yeah, sure, why not?
For Triple H, of course.
For Triple H. The Connecticut Blue Blood. Is Triple H, like, one of the legends of the WWE? I mean, even, like, without his tenure so far as head. Like,
you mean just as a wrestler?
Just as a wrestler.
Yeah, his resume as a wrestler is, damn near unmatched. Lots of world championships, elimination chambers, WrestleMania main events, part of DX, legendary stable. Yep. Involved, was very much like the front guy of the company for a very long time. Like, his record speaks for itself.
D-Generation X, I mean, I didn't know the suck it chop. I didn't know that was a D-Generation X thing until recently, like when I started getting into wrestling, and like how pervasive that was. I mean, I was born in 1994, just like out myself. Like people were doing that like 2nd, 3rd grade, 2002, 2003, and I was like, yo, that's wild. They do that on wrestling. So yeah, no, I think, and even so far, his tenure as like head of the company, he's been doing a fabulous job. I think we've talked about it before, but like this is definitely, we're in some sort of golden age for wrestling once again. So that's really fabulous, and I think the WWE and sports entertainment's in good hands with Paul Levesque.
Yeah, right. Calling it the Renaissance era as they're kind of finding a name for it.
That's good. I like that. I like that, Renaissance. Well, the commentators were talking real quick. Like, what would your WWE dream team look like? Just real quick. A three-man tag team. Who would be on it? Living or dead?
Oh man, living or dead.
Living or dead.
The Undertaker. I always love The Undertaker. I love Rob Van Dam.
Okay. We were just talking about him pre-show.
And then I'm going Eddie Guerrero.
Ooh, okay. All right. I'm going Andy Kaufman, Stone Cold, and then maybe Rey Mysterio. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not a bad list either.
Andy Kaufman, women's heavyweight world champion. We'll talk about that.
I'm sure it will come up.
All right. Speaking of women's champions, we had a recap of the Bianca Belair situation and an interview with Jade Cargill. Naomi, again, is so jealous of everything that has happened to Bianca and has happened to Jade. And then Jade is just incredible during this interview. Naomi sucks is something that comes up. But, that was our best friend, and she attacked my integrity, my loyalty, and heart.
One thing I just want to talk about real quick is the very first thing Jade says is that she is healthy physically.
Yes.
And I just want to talk about that because there are some rumors flying around the dirt sheets and other things saying that she might not have actually been hurt, that she might have wanted off for the mandatory holiday tour. So there is some beef in the locker room. I believe it was a Wrestling Observer newsletter that stated that. So I just wanted to mention that real quick because that might be something that's kind of bubbling up in the background here. And
Jade is one of the people that came from AEW as well.
So there's already some kind of beef from jumping ship and coming here. Apparently, her return promo package about being surrounded by wolves dressed as sheep did not land well in the locker room either. That's kind of something else that's going on here. But then the interview gets interrupted.
Yes. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez pop in to the interview, crash the interview in a way, and it sets up Jade and Liv Morgan next week.
I'm very excited about that.
Yes.
I think it's going to be a really good match. I hope they give them time to do something. I doubt we'll see any kind of clean finish.
Right. No, of course. It's a Liv Morgan match. Judgment Day is going to come out. Carlito and Dom are going to do some nonsense.
But I think it could be a start of something really cool building to WrestleMania. My favorite is how the interview ended, though.
Yes.
So Jade says, "I'll see you next week." Liv goes, "Okay, just don't get pushed into any cars in between now and then. Bye."
Jeez.
I'm like, God dang. I'm like, she's so good at this.
She is
so freaking good at this.
Quite good at her shit talking. Speaking of WrestleMania, next up we had B-Fab and Charlotte Flair.
God, I love B-Fab. I hope that she gets more time and gets part of more stories. I'm glad that she's moved away from just being like a manager for the Street Profits and is starting her own thing. I thought that giving her a match with Charlotte was really awesome.
Yep.
My first note is please just let B-Fab cook.
Yo, and she did cook. She had that Spanish language promo. She's Colombian, I think.
Yes.
They mentioned. And she just came out immediately speaking in Spanish. And then Charlotte's intro, it is very clear that she's Ric Flair's daughter. like even just like without seeing her face, it's like, oh yeah, you're Ric's daughter for sure.
Yeah, just everything about it really does show. Definitely doesn't shy away from it.
The bedazzled leg brace.
Yeah, absolutely. So the point of the promo is basically saying that Charlotte's going to be B-Fab's jumping off point. Like you said, B-Fab did a lot of really good things. The way that they sold the chops, like that's always a thing. How do you sell the chops? How do you give them back? She was absolutely fabulous with that.
Wade Garrett at one point said, "Competition is the only language Charlotte knows." Wade, are you saying that she's not fluent in English?
Wade Barrett, what are you saying to me?
Wade's grasp on the English language is tenacious at best, but
even his own understanding might as well hers. Charlotte does that move that's been going around on TikTok from Booker T reacting to it, where she put her head in between and like slammed her.
I'll have to go back and rewatch that one.
You missed that one?
I will have to study that intently.
It was just pretty wild because I'd seen people do that, but then Charlotte flips her over, like over the top with it, which I had never seen. So I'm not surprised Charlotte kind of put her own twist on it to kind of get herself out there. BFAB gets a little comeback, a spear in the corner, and a follow-up suplex, right? And then she hit a big boot that the commentary team said was called Legs for Days, which I just love because it made me think back to SmackDown versus Raw. I believe it was 2008. Maria's theme song, this one wrestler, her theme song was Legs for Days. So that's big stuck in my brain from back in the day.
That's a classic game. It's a classic game. For me, it seemed like, especially after the commercial break, Charlotte seemed to have the upper hand.
What happened is that Flair hits her natural selection, which is kind of that over-the-top, almost bulldog, and then locked in the figure 8.
Yes.
Right, her version of her dad's figure 4 for the tap. She refused to let go, right, kind of trying to bully BFAB a little bit here. And so Tiffy comes down for the save.
Yes.
And starts like ground and pounding, like on top, just laying into her before they get pulled apart for the first of quite a few times.
Yes. Prior Lake's finest, Tiffany Stratton. There was lots of chance for Tiffany, of course. And security tries their best to separate Charlotte and Tiffany. Charlotte attacks Tiffany. Tiffany pulls her out. Tiffany hits her off the steps. It was just beat down.
Did you hear after they go off the announce desk, Flair screams, "I'm gonna kill you."
Ooh.
They are really letting these flags. They used to be such a big thing. It's like, so you're gonna beat him up, you can hurt him, you can't say you're gonna kill him. Tiffy ends up doing a swanton bomb from the top rope to the outside and just keeps wailing on her after she lands. Right, they finally break him up. What seems like for good, and then we end up backstage.
Yes, there's a. Is this the McIntyre promo?
This is the Drew McIntyre flashback segment, as I have.
It was a pre-tape. It was definitely pre-taped, and then they just slammed cut to it. It's just Drew whining. Oh, Damian stole my title. I had it at Clash at the Castle last year, and then he used his money in the bank. Priest screwed me, and then Priest eliminated me at the Chamber. He's never going to take anything from me again. Like, it's just the same thing over and over and over again.
Tries to put a different spin on at the end. This is about you putting you down for good so you can never take anything from me again. I just hope we get a little more out of this. Like, his matches are great, but these promos are kind of running together. I hope they're giving him they're going to get a little extra juice here as him and Damian get a little more mic time with each other.
It's a little dry and just feels like, okay, well, this is like pretty basic for a wrestler. Like, okay, yeah, you stole my title, I'm going to steal it back. Oh, great, okay. All right, and then after that, we had a special segment of Miz TV with The Miz. And our special guest for the day, or for that on Friday, was Cody Rhodes, but
we don't even get to start yet.
Nope.
The Miz gets in the ring, tries to show off his speaking skills, get over with the crowd, right? Speaking in Spanish. Espanol. And then Tiffy and Flair just come out the top of the ramp and they're fighting. Idea being they broke out from backstage. Did you hear what the announcers referred to it as they were fighting?
No.
A blonde bash in Barcelona.
Blonde bash in Barcelona. I like that.
As they're fighting at the top of the ramp, right?
That's pretty good. Good.
Again, they get separated. Tiffy climbs to the top of the video board.
Yes.
And hits her swanton.
Yes.
Right? Stands up and screams, "There's a new queen in town."
There is a new queen in town. Yes.
After that, they get separated, and then unfortunately, we have to get back to the Miz.
Yes. Travis Scott sucks. I just want to put that out there. And Cody is still going to retain his title. He's going to win at WrestleMania. He's going to defeat his hero, John Cena. Right?
If you say so.
If I say so. Miz does cut Cody Rhodes' music. He doesn't want to sing along during his segment. But it was already interrupted by Tiffy.
Yeah. Well, my favorite thing is before he even gets out, he starts by saying, "You should have taken the Rock's offer. Instead, you got beat up by two good rappers."
Two good rappers.
Not even great, just two good rappers.
I like John Cena as a rapper more than Travis Scott. Cody hits the crossroads on Miz for the shenanigans of, hey, just interrupting Cody. Let Cody speak. Cody was already heated. And we do get another tease for the Cody Cena Cody face off in Belgium. They're going to be under the same roof in Belgium.
Cody says he doesn't want to talk to anyone unless his name is John Cena. There was no what do you want to talk about. I feel like we're seeing this kind of farther departure from the perfect baby face Cody Rhodes and approaching this different side of Cody where he really has to kind of explore not only how is he feeling, but what is John saying? What's the truth to it? It looked like a different Cody.
Yes.
And again, boosting up to both be under one roof in Brussels.
In Brussels, Belgium. All right. And then backstage, we have Shinsuke Nakamura and Nick Aldis, the GM of SmackDown. Damian Priest, of course, interrupts, and Shinsuke says some stuff in Japanese. They don't show subtitles, of course, which is quite rude. And it sets up a match for Damian and Shinsuke next week. It sets up for a match for Damian and Shinsuke immediately.
One quick thing, a couple quick things about this setup. First, Nick Aldis says he can't believe that Shinsuke misted the ref, and specifically says you're lucky he's such a good guy, or this could have been. And again, we knew Charles Robinson. That's our dude. Like, he was cool about it. So Priest comes to the back, asks where Drew is after that promo, and he said he's left the building. Drew's gone.
Yes.
I wrote in big bold letters, there's zero chance Drew is gone. Again, Shinsuke says something. Priest comes back with the effect of, I don't know what you said, but I'm looking for a fight, and you can have it. And again, they go to a quick commercial, and then they come back with the match.
Well, there was some sort of like weird teaser before the match. There was like a masked figure in silhouette.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah. No, there was like, it had to be less than a minute. It was like 30 seconds of just like some masked figure in silhouette, like lit behind him, fog, everything like that.
I totally missed that.
Yeah, no. I did some looking up on the Shinsuke Nakamura mask. It was actually created by a guy from Pittsburgh. He's also created masks for Fiend and Uncle Howdy.
Okay.
Which are things that I don't recognize. His name is Jason Baker from Calosum Studios. So I just wanted to provide some historical reference here for the mask. And like, I did live in Japan, so I do have some knowledge here. And so if I mispronounce anything or if I'm talking out my butt, let me know at the cshowpod on Instagram, Blue Sky, and we're on Facebook too. But so it's actually two pieces. So the helmet itself is called a kabuto, traditional Japanese helmet from like the 10th century. And then and it's typically worn by like the samurai class. So like not like your like ground warrior. Like the samurais were like knights, right? They were like protectors of the landed gentry of Imperial Japan, of that era of Japan. And the mask itself, it goes by there's a couple different terms for it. The one that you can find the Wikipedia article for under is men yoroi. That's MEN YOROI. And technically it's actually used to keep the helmet on the head and protect the face. There's like a chin strap that goes underneath it, so it like actually serves a purpose. I thought it was mostly decorative. Like I thought it was like a decorative piece of the armor, and it would be like taken off before battle, but like it's actually a legitimate piece of the armor, and instead of just protecting the face, it also like has that piece where it keeps everything more weighted down. So yeah, I wanted to mention that and bring a little context onto what the helmet is and what the mask is. So
cool. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember if it was Tessatori or Wade Barrett, but they were talking about some of Barcelona's wild residents. They forgot to mention legendary Barcelona forward, Argentina forward, Diego Maradona. But nevertheless, so yeah, Damian Priest, Shinsuke Nakamura.
It starts. Damian's kind of getting punches all over, clotheslines him. Shinsuke got on top somehow over the break. We don't know how. There was one point where Damian catches Shinsuke from the second rope and slams him down. I thought he was immediately going to try and catch him and go into his South of Heaven choke slam. Like I thought that was going to be the end of the match. Yeah, I thought it'd be pretty cool. He ends up hitting his broken arrow, and hits a crossbody old school. So old school is that move where he walks up on the ropes.
Oh, yes.
And then so he does a crossbody off it. It's an homage to The Undertaker, who did old school, but he would kind of just ball up. He would hold on to that hand still. He would ball up his fist and knock you right in the back of the base of the neck, essentially. So that's another homage of his to The Undertaker.
Damien was mentored by The Undertaker.
Yes, he was a big inspiration. They've met and they've discussed different things. Yeah, there's been collaboration between them.
Gotcha. Okay.
So Shinsuke then counters a clothesline into an armbar.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really cool thing where Priest had his hands locked, right? The idea that Shinsuke couldn't actually pull all the way back on the arm and force the hyperextension. So that was a cool way for him to work out of it. So he works out of it. He hits this big lariat and then he drops the straps. I love when they drop the straps. That lets you know it's go time.
What are the straps?
So wrestlers that wear singlets will usually have like 2 straps up over their shoulders. And usually when things get intense, right, they talk about dropping the straps. You pop them both off the shoulder and let them fall. Kurt Angle was a big thing for dropping the straps.
Braun Strowman yesterday.
Braun Strowman drops the straps. Lots of people do. It's just a fun little thing a lot of people do that I love. Again, it just shows kind of a change in the match, a change in the moment.
Yeah. And talking about changes in the match, changes in the moment, who pops out? Who surprises us? It's Drew McIntyre.
Who could imagine? Drew McIntyre here, sitting on the table.
Yep.
So, obviously distracts Priests. Shinsuke tries to roll Priest up. Commentary says Shinsuke is going to put him to the sword now, which I thought was interesting. They're being very purposeful with some of the different things they've been saying over these last couple weeks in relation to Shinsuke, which I thought has been awesome. So Preach catches Shinsuke as he's trying to do the Kanasha, hits the South of Heaven as he's looking for the win, gets jumped by Drew.
Yep. And McIntyre's involvement in the match automatically disqualifies Damien, right?
Disqualifies Shinsuke because he hit Damien.
Gotcha.
So technically Damien wins by DQ.
Damien wins by DQ, which is of course not Drew's idea, his intention there. Damien and Drew go at it. Drew puts the thumbs in the eyes.
Yeah, gouges his eyes. Shinsuke then comes and takes advantage of it, hits the Kanyasha, and then Drew just continues to beat on Priest while he's down.
Yeah. Drew ends up hammering him, and Drew throws Damien into the barriers and tosses the steel steps at him. The referee finally steps in, says, okay, no, you're out of here, kicks him out. Only one referee to kick Drew McIntyre out.
That's all it takes.
And then, the crowd the whole time is singing, oh, Drew McIntyre. Underwhelmed by the crowd in Barcelona. And then McIntyre claymores Priest, yells in his face, and then heel stomps Priest.
Yeah, I have nothing left but to make your life a living hell. And again, bounce off the second rope, big old head stomp.
Hell yeah. All right. Let's talk real quick about Chelsea Green and the DIY interviews.
Yeah, I'd love to start with DIY.
Yes, because they were first, of course.
Yes. So talked about their match again with the Street Profits. Talked about how SmackDown has a great tag team division.
Yes.
But it's only so great because they are on the top of it. They said they've been making the Street Profits better this whole time, but they still aren't good enough. In title matches, we want the smoke. More like we want the choke, they say. Then Motor City Machine Guns come in and just kind of remind them, whether you win or lose this, the entire tag team division is on you.
Right.
You set off this whole chain of events and went behind to win and got so many people wrapped and jammed up in that, like, there's still a target on your back after this match, no matter what.
Yeah. So MCMG, the Motor City Machine Guns, warn DIY that they're waiting if DIY defends their title. So that really sets up for hopefully a match between DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns in the future.
And then Kathy Kelly is backstage with Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green. Okay, but did you recognize what Chelsea was doing with her hands?
I did not.
She was doing the Trump hands. She was doing the Trump. She kind of was doing the thing with the voice.
Oh, no, I did not.
Yeah, no, I picked up on it immediately because Piper Niven and
Zelina Vega.
Yes, were next to her.
Not Zelina Vega. Gosh darn. Apple Fire.
Alba Fire, thank you. They were dressed next to her as Secret Service agents. Piper Niven steps in. I just think it would be funny. A Chelsea Green administration would be terrifying, but I don't think as terrifying as the current administration. The current administration, I don't think he has taken a bump. He wasn't very good at it. All right, moving on. It sets up a match for Piper and Zelina next week, though.
Yes, it was basically Zelina coming and saying, sounding better than Chelsea Green champion will be and new, meaning when she wins, they announce a new U.S. Women's Champion. Piper steps up and says, if you want Chelsea, you have to go through me. Zelina says, bet. See you next week.
So they come for me. They understand. They talk to me. Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes.
This was such a great match. I wrote a whole lot. I'll try and make it relatively quick. Again, first things first, came out and did the arms. Randy did the arms, already a win.
Yeah.
I could tell Mello was trying to set him up in the beginning with that handshake and all. And he hits Randy with the too slow, as if it's I don't know, your stupid uncle or something. It's idiot. Randy
was sarcastically giving it up for Randy. And the body language gives respect. The face is sneering. It's very clear Carmelo's from Boston.
Randy does the 10 punches in the corner, and Hayes is kicking crazy.
Yes.
If you were watching,
yes.
he was kicking damn near as high as Randy, reacting to it. I thought that was so awesome. Classic Orton, he dumps him on the announce table, going into the commercial. After commercial, Hayes hits him with a chop block, connects with a super kick. And then he actually gets this really deep choke in. And I was like, this would be interesting. Hayes hasn't done anything like this. I assumed it was more of a transition, but I was like, I wonder if something that he'll kind of keep in his arsenal here. We get the whole thing. Randy fights up, hits a hard clothesline, snap power slam, vintage Orton, and then they tease the hanging DDT. I love the hanging DDT, but they teased it. Then Randy catches Carmelo off a springboard and does another power slam. So I bit. By that mean they got me. I thought the match was over. Saying I bit means, oh, that's gonna be the last move. Okay, and they didn't. Right, so it's called a false finish when they keep the match going. So that's just something I usually end up watching with my wife. And times certain things will happen, and we'll turn to them and be like, oh, I bit. I thought it was over. So just a little inside baseball.
Inside baseball. I thought Carmelo had a few good shots after being thrown on the announcer desk, but Randy hits him with a dummy move in the center of the ring, RKOs him out of nowhere, and then it's just a quick uno, dos, tres pinfall.
I will say I was very surprised and loved Randy Orton doing the superplex. At one point, Melo's on the top rope to try nothing but net, and Randy jumps up, hits him with a superplex.
Yep.
And then where he goes for the RKO and gets countered, and then catches Hayes' attempted first 48. Tries another RKO that does hit him with the first 48, and then Randy hits an RKO out of nowhere. While wobbly, right? He stood up, was whoa, and then hit the RKO out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. Like you said, Randy gets the pin, and then we still have a little more after the bell, though.
Yeah, because the Quadra comes out. Kevin Owens comes out, running out. There's some shenanigans there, and then immediately Kevin just runs back into the crowd.
Well, before that, if you remember, Randy actually helped Carmelo up and extended his hand for him to shake.
Yes.
Which has been a big thing. There's some lore going back. There's a lot of clips going around of it when Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston were a part of a match, and Kofi kind of flubbed the finish. If you've seen where he goes, stupid. So people have always kind of been iffy on how he handles when people react like actual bad things that happen. So I was waiting for him to see him totally lose his mind here, which is exactly what I expected, because he sets him up for the punt. Then, like you said, KO comes out, pulls Mello out.
Yep.
KO starts running away, almost immediately falls down. I don't know if you peeped that. In the first 3 steps, he kind of Flintstones goes nowhere and almost eats it. And then he throws Randy into the post and just runs away.
Runs back into the crowd. What a coward. We had a quick Fatu promo for the Braun Showdown with Braun Strowman, right?
Yes. So we were in the back, and before Jacob even said anything, Solo and Tama Tonga were talking to him, saying, "You can handle him." And again, back to this term of run the play. As soon as I saw Jacob go, I'm like, "Oh, let's walk and talk, big guy." I thought we were getting another Jacob Fatu walking pro. I was very excited. He stayed mostly stationary, but basically the gist of it: Braun, let's keep it 100. You really think that you can get with me? Remember, I'm live. Coast to coast, I'm live, post to post.
Post to post.
And I'm finna dog walk your ass. Next week, we run it back.
Wow.
And then they did the Fatu, which I guess it's just something else they're trying to kind of get for them. Again, it goes with, I guess that's going to be kind of their answer to the Roman Reigns. When he doesn't, maybe again, if they try and now make Jacob Fatu as if he's taking over as this new tribal chief. I just think there's a lot of stuff there they can get weird with.
Gotcha.
And then at the very end, I don't know if I missed something. Maybe I was only half paying attention. As I lock back in on the screen after time something, I just see this like smoke 4.
Yeah.
Is there something else I missed, or did you get any of that really?
I got a smoky 4 as well, but I don't. Is that a Fantastic Four promo?
Oh God.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Cast WWE stars as the Fantastic Four. Go.
Trish Stratus as the Invisible Woman, as Sue Storm.
Okay.
I would cast Cody as the Human Torch, and then maybe Breaker as the Thing.
Ooh.
I'm just trying to think who would be Reed Richards. Who would be Mr. Fantastic? You want somebody kind of tall, kind of like bookish, like professorial, bookish, but like also like, oh God, he's dead, drop dead handsome. Right? Because he's got to have the silver wings in the hair. I thought Krasinski was a great Mr. Fantastic, but
He'll turn or not. It's got to be John Cena. I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe Cena.
Like if you're thinking who's Mr. Fantastic, it's John Cena.
John Cena. Okay. All right. Never mind. There we go. All right. But then we had a quick match between Gunther warming up for WrestleMania against Axiom, who is a local Spanish wrestler. He is from Spain. And in the pre, like the setup to the match, Gunther mentions his fandom for Bayern Munich, who are like the New York Yankees of the Bundesliga in Germany. And he mentions that he's a huge fan of Real Madrid. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Spanish league, the La Liga, Barcelona and Madrid have beef that go back centuries. Madrid is traditionally the home of the Spanish crown, the Spanish government. Barcelona is kind of like the creative capital. It's also Catalonia has tried to break away several times from the Spanish government and create its own breakaway state. So there's a lot of beef already between Barcelona and Madrid. So when somebody goes up and says, I don't really care about FC Barcelona, I like Real Madrid, that's like, I was trying to think of a good example. Like Mets, Yankees, Red Sox, meh, whatever. You might get a couple of cuss words thrown at you. You might get a punch thrown at you. No, there will be legitimate violence if you say the wrong thing about Barcelona in the wrong place to the wrong people. So I just think it's fun that they're leaning into this. Like they know the international reach of it. I'm looking here at Axiom's actual his profile on Wikipedia. They did mention that he spent some time in the Barcelona Academy, La Masia.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah. So that was really interesting. If we have any information, I'm not seeing that unfortunately here, but yeah, no, I think that's a really interesting transition. We talk about moving from like traditional Greco-Roman wrestling to professional wrestling, sports entertainment, the pipeline from like college football, the NFL, to the WWE, to professional wrestling.
Yeah, and even just some collegiate wrestlers too.
Yeah.
Just the classic college style.
Mm-hmm, exactly. So, pretty interesting. So Gunther already drawing ire from the crowd by mentioning his love for Real Madrid. He brings out Axiom, who is a half of the NXT Tag Team Champions. And this is like a true European matchup. You've got the German versus the Spaniard in Barcelona. And, during the commercial break, Gunther was just beating up on Axiom. Like, there was some points that was just like, oh man, I feel really bad for this guy, because it's clearly like this is a tune-up match for Gunther. They're bringing out the Spanish guy because they're in Spain. They want to like be like, oh look, like, hey, he's on the big show right now.
They let him get a little bit in the beginning, though.
Yeah.
Like, right, he was dodging the chops from Gunther, gives him one of his own. But then I did literally right underneath it, they're probably going to let him die in 4 minutes. Axiom catches Gunther in this really nice armbar, like inside outside of the ring style, but then, like you said, Gunther starts being on him. He hits this absolutely decleating, I didn't know how else to put it, like debooting, I guess, chop from Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
Axiom kind of keeps building back up, but then gets knocked down in one blow. The classic kind of little bit of hope, stomp it down.
Yep.
Gunther takes 8 kicks and then catches the 9th one to put him in a Boston Crab.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gunther actually pivots really nicely from that right into a step over face lock, which was just some really nice, like, you hear about European wrestling, people kind of much more technical, right? And like that was a really nice, smooth transition. It looked really good doing it. Like, I can see where Gunther learned in this technical style.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic match just between the two of them. Very physical, very athletic, very fluid.
And you're not a heel wrestling someone wearing a mask unless you try and take the mask off.
Right.
Again, tries to demask Axiom. Axiom hits a dragon corkscrew on the ropes, and then a big missile drop kick. He got a sneaky little roll up, and I'm like, could they let this happen? Could they just like let this? Like, I'm like, it doesn't really cost Gunther anything. Like, they'll dunk on him a couple times, but like, this place, the roof will blow off this place if they let this happen.
Yeah.
But again, I totally get why they didn't. Gunther then just absolutely just starts again, just wailing on him again. I swear the one kick commentary said the silent pterodactyl. I went back and listened to it a handful of times, and I felt like I was losing my mind.
I remember, yeah. The silent pterodactyl, I remember that. I remember anytime somebody says pterodactyl.
I bet you do.
Because the P is silent. That always messes with me.
Damn, I don't even have a P when I typed in the document. So Gunther gets a powerbomb, kick out at 2. Again, I bit again there.
Axiom got that golden ratio kick in, which was very sweet.
Yeah, that was awesome. Because Gunther's on the ropes. Axiom goes for Hurricane Rana. Gunther catches him. I thought he was going to do a second rope like avalanche powerbomb, but Axiom swings himself anyway. That's when he hits the golden ratio. Gunther kicks out in just like a crazy aggressive flying super kick.
Yeah.
Puts Gunther in another submission, but then Gunther goes powerbomb, lariat, powerbomb, stack pin, and then the same thing Gunther's been doing after every match, even matches that aren't his.
Yeah, he puts Axiom into a sleeper hold, and the referees have to separate them, and like a lot of referees have to come out.
I was surprised. I thought this would be another opportunity to bring Jay out, or again, just maybe give someone else, maybe another like a Spanish wrestler, a little cheap moment, right? A little cheap pops come out and make the save. So I was surprised they kind of just stopped, broke up.
Yeah.
And then we go on to see a replay of the main event from Monday Night Raw.
And basically the main question around that recap, as well as the flashbacks to the Rumble, was what was Paul doing specifically? Paul Heyman.
He still owes CM Punk a favor. Remember, the only reason that he was a part of War Games is he said he owed him a favor. It said that Paul Heyman would owe him a favor. Again, formerly, Paul Heyman was CM Punk's manager, right? He was a Paul Heyman guy. So there's already a lot of history there.
Gotcha. All right. And then we cut to Paul Heyman in the ring. So Paul has 2 things to talk to us. He has to talk to us about the WWE 2K25 video game, which he is on the cover for. And, we talked about this on text, but I did want to talk about it a little bit more. So the standard edition of WWE 2K is $69.99.
Yeah, $70 for a game is unfortunately what we're at this day, which already sucks.
The base of the game. And then you've got the Dead Man, the Undertaker cover, comes with a bonus pack, season pass, 6-pack, and 15,000 virtual credits. That's $99.99. And then the Bloodline edition is a whopping $129.99. Again, that's MSRP, right? So, and that comes with a ringside pack and a Rock Nation of Domination pack, but no mention of VC.
You don't even get all the VC.
And like, this is just like a rant in general, but like, I've been reading the reviews of Civilization 7. I'm a big Civilization guy. I love Civ 6, Civ 5. I have like almost 200 hours in Civ 6. Yes, it's a problem. Mm-hmm. But Civ 7 isn't finished yet.
Oh, it's one of those.
Yeah, it's like one of those where, we're going to launch it and you're going to pay $70 to $120 for it, depending on the edition that you buy. But we're not going to. You're going to basically beta test it. And it's just like, this is really rude to consumers, I feel like, in general. And like, if you're going to put out everything else fantastically, like, I don't want to be buying a $70 game and have to download updates or like, stuff's just not straight working. The clip that goes around of Jey Uso just going, yeet. And it's just like they didn't understand. Like, it just doesn't.
He does the wild stuff with his arms.
It just doesn't. Yeah, and so Paul must be thrilled to be doing this, to be shilling for the video game. But then he also mentions that it's not Friday, it's Roman Reigns Day.
Yes, in conjunction because of the release of WWE 2K25, it is Roman Reigns Day, and he said, you guys should go and watch it. Well, wait until I'm done talking, then go and watch it. Well, actually watch the whole show, because he specifically says, want to keep the ratings high, but especially during my segments.
Love Paul. Always a showman. Always a showman.
As people boo, he's like, it's not CM Punk Day, and it will never be Seth frickin' Rollins Day.
And then the crowd starts singing the song.
Well, man, that was bad. That was not on tune. There you go. Thank you.
And then Paul jumps in, cuts him off, cuts the crowd off, and says, all due respect, I hate that freaking song.
That was awesome. And Paul starts kind of talking about Roman, building it up, and he's like, and he'll be in Italy next week.
In Bologna.
And Paul even says you can get a ticket on Cheapo Airline, fly down there and see him if you want.
I think that's a reference to Ryanair, the Irish airline.
That's so funny. And then kind of talks about what he expects to happen when Roman comes back, when they're all together, this and that. And finishes with something he said a couple times over his career that I always love. It's not a prediction.
It's a spoiler.
That's a spoiler. He's used that a few times. Like most famously, it was before Brock Lesnar took the Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. He's used it a couple other times.
Yeah.
The majority of it has been, correct or right on. Right. I think there's like one instance, but it was something weird I was looking at on Reddit because I was very interested. But I just love that. That's not a prediction. That's a spoiler.
And my final note here is, yes. Again, this is my note. What favor does Heyman owe Paul Heyman?
What does Heyman owe Paul Heyman?
Yeah, not my brightest moment. But what favor does Paul Heyman owe CM Punk?
So that's the thing, is people have said it's a lot of different things. People think it's to main event WrestleMania. People think it's another title shot at some point. Some people think it's more of just like a general sellout, like make me the top guy kind of thing. There's a lot of possibilities.
CM Punk selling his soul.
Maybe in a different way. And it's just interesting because the way that him and Paul were in the ring, like that's not like Punk was in a moment of need. It was like Paul went to him. Like that's why Roman was jealous. Paul was just in there just like, oh no, it's okay. Like I get it. This is gonna keep turning up and I'm here for it.
Yeah, absolutely. A quick note here in between transitioning to Paul Heyman and some action backstage between Street Profits and Legado de Fantasma. Scott Tessitore just trying to drop all of the Italian words he can, basically just to impress his grandma who's somewhere. But shout out to grandmas, shout out to Italian grandmas. And then, again, as I mentioned previously, we've got Street Profits and Legado de Fantasma face off backstage.
They really just kind of face up as the Street Profits are back there because Legado del Fantasma says there's nothing more than they want than to take the titles off the Street Profits. They wish them luck tonight in doing that.
Yep.
Going back, the Street Profits jumped Liga del Fantasma technically unprovoked, but that's only because Pretty Deadly died, because DIY did it and got them to, again, like they're again all just so deep in this muck that is DIY in the title picture, that like again, like both sides of this tag team are told, like no matter what side you come out on it, like someone is going to be waiting for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I really liked the very fake laugh at the end after they started walking away. It was oh my god, it was just absolutely fantastic.
What was that laugh again?
So we actually get a Street Profits walking promo after that. Starts you already know, and then he does like the same thing Tama Tonga does, like he does the like that he did earlier. Says how it's been 4 years since they've been champions. They're here to put critics to sleep and wake everybody else up. Tonight's the night they walk as WWE Tag Team Champions. Again, my favorite thing, always gets me, still love it. The Street Profits are up, and we want the smoke.
And they want the smoke. And then we had an interaction backstage with Jimmy Uso and Gunther. Gunther mentions to Jimmy that he left Axiom laying like a wet towel in the ring. He doesn't want to have to do the same to Jay. Will you please have a word with your brother?
Yeah, he tries to be Gunther tries to relate to him. Like we see Gunther actually try and be a human for once. He's like, I also have a younger brother. He's like, I know you guys are twins, but you are so much more mature. Like buttering him up. Like that's what he needs to hear and tells Jimmy, tell Jay to quit. I don't want to hurt him. Jimmy says, you got this backwards, Oos. In Sin City, we are all yeeting, Oos.
He mentions how the ring general will drop rank at WrestleMania in Vegas.
Oh, I missed that. That's awesome.
Yes,
That's
the general will be demoted. And it's not clear on what rank of general Gunther is. If you're unfamiliar, it's brigadier, major, lieutenant, and then general is 4 stars. And then general in the army is 5 stars. But the last time they did that was World War II. So is Gunther a lieutenant general, 3 stars, and he's going to get demoted down to 2-star? Major general, is he going to get demoted from 1-star general down to colonel?
Yeah, I was going to ask where colonel comes in, because my knowledge of the hierarchy mostly comes from MASH, and I know that Colonel Potter always has to call the generals about dumb shit when he needs stuff done.
My dad will come on at some point, and he will confirm that for you.
Yeah, because then under them there were the majors.
Yep.
And then captains.
Yep.
Under them, and then sergeants. It was a big deal to make sergeant.
Lieutenants under them, and then
lieutenant then
under them is the NCOs, all the enlisted guys. But yeah, no, that's actually really good.
Thanks, MASH.
Gunther says he mistakes Jimmy's maturity. My note there is, did you wear briefs to work?
What?
Gunther wears briefs to work.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
You can't really have a comment on professionalism when you come out and you like after you come out in your underwear, basically. Like, I mean, this is a common thing that's thrown at wrestlers, but like, come on.
That's the style. That's the classic look.
It is a classic look. All right, and then we go into. Did you have anything else on Jimmy and Gunther? Did I miss anything?
No, I really think that we hit everything there.
Perfect. Well, and then wrapping up SmackDown on Friday night, we had Street Profits versus DIY. Street Profits is Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. And DIY is Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
Again, a lot here. I'm not going to try and hold us long here. I will always love when the Street Profits do the assisted moonsault, where Dawkins picks him up and throws him over his shoulder to do that.
Yeah.
Dawkins catches a DDT that Gargano's trying to do and throws him over his head. And like I mentioned before, we saw a whole lot of the cutting off the ring, like the classic tag team wrestling, which I thought was really cool. What surprised me is at one point, Ciampa hit a avalanche white noise. That's where he had him, right, like head tucked under here on the second rope here and then jump down. I didn't really know if that was in his bag. Maybe, I'm just unfamiliar with that.
Avalanche of white noise. Isn't that Pat McAfee?
Oh, Christ. That's so good. God dang, that's so freaking good. Dang. it goes back to Montez trying to make this hot tag.
Mm-hmm.
He finally gets it. Dawkins come in, right, and he cleans house.
Yes.
Montez goes up for the 450 splash.
Mm-hmm.
Ciampa gets the knees up.
Yep.
The DIY hit the shatter machine, and Dawkins barely breaks up the pin. I wasn't sure if he was going to get there. It looked really good. They did great on the timing there.
Mm-hmm.
Street Profits try and hit their Doomsday device blockbuster.
Yeah.
They hit it. Ciampa breaks up the pin. Dawkins misses a huge swanton
Mm-hmm.
and actually kicks out of the fairy tale ending. They did like a fairy tale ending kick combo. They go for meat in the middle, and Gargano kicks Tommaso Ciampa. And literally, I just put "here we go again" gif, like the break up and get back together and break up. Like their feud in NXT, people talk about so much, and it seemed like all that was holding them together was the tag title. If they don't immediately win it within the next 2 weeks, like that break is definitely
coming.
Definitely coming, because after that, Montez Ford hits the splash and the Street Profits win.
Dude, Montez bounced another 3 feet on top of Gargano. It was so crazy. Did you see Angelo Dawkins hit the Sue?
I did.
Yeah, Dawkins apparently is a Real Madrid fan.
Yeah, it's like a for shoot. They said that there was I want to say Champions League game between them earlier this week that he attended.
Oh, yeah. Real Madrid game. I can't remember who they played, but yeah. No, that's awesome. Good for him. But yeah, the only complaint I have about that match is like they fit it into a tight window. I feel like they could have cut like the Chelsea Green promo. They could have cut the Piper Niven stuff, and given them like 4 or 5 extra minutes because it was awesome. I was glued. I had a hard time keeping notes because I was just like so glued to it. But
yeah, literally as I was watching it, like I'm like, we still need this tag match. And I looked at how much time was left, and it wasn't much. I'm like, man, they haven't even done their walkouts yet.
Nope.
And they even give us a commercial. They give us the picture-in-picture commercial, which
Yeah.
I hate. It is so hard to try and watch and be like, what's going on? And just because you know that anything that happens during the commercial is not actually going to matter.
Right.
Like, they expect a bunch of people not to see it. So, like, that made me bummed. Like, I think that's when they hit the shatter machine, or maybe when he hit one of the other finishers. I was like, well, I know that's not the end because we're still in picture-in-picture here.
Yeah. But what'd you think of SmackDown Friday night, the 14th?
I thought it was pretty good. And as a whole, again, I like what they're doing to build. I do agree that I think they probably could have cut some of this promo and backstage time and probably given some of these matches a little room to breathe.
Yeah.
But I feel the same thing about Raw coming up, too, is that there are really some things they kind of rushed through. So I wonder if they're kind of getting like ahead of themselves for what they need to set up, or at least they're trying to get ahead.
Okay. Yeah, no, that would make sense. So, well, with that, we're going to talk about Raw here in a moment, but we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with The C Show. And welcome back to The C Show. We're here talking about Raw yesterday night. We're recording on the 18th, the Tuesday. And, of course, we're covering Raw that was in Brussels, Belgium. My first thought of the evening, and I'm so thrilled about this, I'm sure you are as well when you were watching this, no Pat McAfee.
That was my very first note, was Corey Graves and no Pat. Nice.
Yeah, no, Corey is great. I really liked him. We start off, obviously, with the main event. Recap of the Rollins Punk cage match, the Cena heel turn, yada, yada, yada. And then, who comes out? The one, the only.
John Cena, to the exact same theme song. A
Yep.
lot of speculation if there would be new music, what would change, and he kind of gets to talking about that here in a minute, but it's really a little bit before he even gets to say anything.
Yeah, like immediately, like I have listen, I'm gonna brag, but I have a 5.1 surround sound system at my home. I usually, when I'm watching Raw, I have this feature that I can turn on that like emulates a stadium. Yeah, I know, it's pretty cool. But it like emulates a stadium sound system. And so I do that usually for wrestling because it's a level of immersion. It's fun.
Yeah.
All booze. Just boo. And immediately they took the melody. Do, 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 do.
Mm-hmm.
And what were they singing, Connor?
John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. Maybe that fake Randy Orton tweet was right. It's not the same without the Cena sucks chants.
No, and like, listen, I in my notes I was like, okay, I love European fans because I knew that they were gonna sing, right? They do it. They did it in France. They do it at the Clash of the Castle. There's a reason why they're in continental Europe. They're not in the UK for this swing because the English would just they would sing a song up like to the tune of Mary Had a Little Lamb about John Cena and like turning heel and like there's a reason why they're doing it in Central Europe. They're not doing like continental Europe. They're not doing it in the UK. The crowd was absolutely electric. And John was really taking it straight-faced at the beginning. I had another note here. One of the signs was "Die, Cena, die." Now you may be wondering, well, that's really, really rough. That's like pretty violent. You would think like, but no. It's just like Sideshow Bob's tattoo in The Simpsons. It means the Cena, the in German, right? So
that's actually a callback to when The Rock was first debuting. There were signs that were "Die Rocky Die." It was like Rocky Maivana.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, and
so that's a play off of that too.
And my brain immediately was like, "Oh, it's a Simpsons joke." Yeah, The Simpsons. The Simpsons is
monorail.
Monorail.
What I loved is there were a couple of, like you said, he was kind of taking it all in when he came out. Mm-hmm. He gave us a couple fake outs of like, well, dropping the mic, leaving, dropping the mic, leaving, and then
He's constantly booed the entire time. There's the "You sold out" chants. Mm-hmm. Was this when they started the "Let's go Cena, John Cena sucks"?
That was
it was a bit later, but still
that was in between like the two mic drops.
Gotcha.
Where it was the battling "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks." He does the double fake out, and then let me say this first, then I'll say the comment I said to you.
Yeah.
He said, when someone is grounded, they don't need to look outside for approval. And my note, just real bold, was the worst person you know went to therapy. But not like actually went to therapy and did the work. Went to like 2 sessions of therapy and it's like, no, this is dumb. It doesn't work. But still uses all any buzzword they learned to be like, well, in therapy, I learned.
Yeah, and I'm going to hold space for that thought, Connor, and I'm going to just let that sit with me and wash over me.
John Cena hits a lot of different notes here. Again, this is really a departure for him. Again, he was originally a heel back with the Doctor of Thugonomics, and this was a very different kind of heel. And to come out here and really flip the script on the whole thing. Many people were wondering how he could do it. Comes down and says he's been part of an abusive relationship.
Yep.
All you've ever done is bully me and expect me to be a puppet with a smile on its face. Mm-hmm. I believe this is when our first F.U. Cena chant breaks out.
Yep.
Says, I'm not a baby face. I'm not a heel. I'm a human being. Talked about changing himself. Wasn't enough. Mm-hmm. He spent, and then he spent 10 years trying to give away, but it still wasn't enough for everybody. Shut the F up chants now.
Yep.
Telling them you ruin everything.
I won a lot and you hated it.
Yeah, when he said, I win and win about 26 times, I think. Somewhere in that ball, about alphabet length. Mm-hmm. Said, you ruin everything to the crowd. Then they start hitting the na 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 na. Hey, 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 goodbye. And he's like, you just keep asking, what do we get? John Cena's on his goodbye tour. What do we get? No one ever asked, how do I feel?
Not one of you sons of bitches asked how I feel.
And he's like, so you get nothing. You don't get new clothes. You don't get new music because you didn't earn it. That is my voice on that track.
That's such a Willy Wonka ass retort. You get nothing. You get nothing.
You lose.
You lose. You get no shirt. You get no new music. You signed a contract.
You drank the bubbly juice or whatever it is.
You drank the fizzy flying water.
Crowd starts chanting that they want Cody.
Mm-hmm. Your shiny toy.
Cena then says that he can pick out the Let's Go Cena people in the crowd. And then he says, you guys are all so bad. Says, what have you ever done for me?
Mm-hmm.
And says, just made me the butt of an invisible joke for the past 15 years.
And Connor, how long did it take for me to get that joke?
I think I was texting you the next day about something else that happened.
No, it was a few hours later, but I was like, oh, I just got the invisible joke. Okay, so speaking of the fans, I'm bringing it up on my phone right now, but speaking of the fans that John Cena was referencing, the ones that he could see in the crowd, oh, shoot. I don't think I may not have saved this. Oh, frick. But this kid's face was just perfect. He was just like staring straight into the camera and just being like, dude, I'm 8.
Well, the one like right after John Cena point, and he's like, all you Go Cena people are just as bad. And I don't remember if he said like specifically or especially, he was like that kid and pointed into the crowd, and then they did like, I'm sure he was a plan or whatever, but it was so good. Like, kid, I hope you get your money. I hope you get famous. I don't know what it is. That was awesome. You're great. Cena says, you don't support me. You just use me. I am breaking up with everyone here. Every person, you are dumped.
I support you, John Cena. I watched a press screening of Blockers, and I cackled through that one scene. And you know what scene I'm talking about, John. I support you. I watched Peacemaker. I like Peacemaker.
Peacemaker was good.
Peacemaker's great.
I really liked Peacemaker.
I love Vigilante.
I watched the original Marine so much. I had enough points from the old, like, under the Pepsi cap, there were the codes you could put online.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of different things. And one was an unrated copy of the Marine.
An unrated copy?
Unrated.
Was it digital? Or is it physical? DVD?
No, they sent me the DVD.
Do you still have it?
Oh, Christ. It might be at my parents'. Watch along.
Bonus content. Yeah, so, I think... And the other thing I want to say is John Cena... I think John Cena... And this is a tangent for another time, another place, but I always want to record it. I think John Cena will be the first WWE alumni to win an acting Oscar. Like, I think he's that good. Like, as a physical comedian. Like, I know comedy roles usually don't get nominated for Oscars. They never win. The dude is mad funny. He's got range when he wants to. He was great in Blockers. I'll always reference that. But, like, I seriously think he will be the first one to win an Oscar. And that's going to piss the hell out of The Rock.
That, I totally believe that. Like, especially seeing how he kind of handled everything he did tonight.
Mm-hmm.
This was different for him. I can definitely see once he is totally done with WWE, like, he could be someone that totally changes his body type or anything else, get himself kind of recast. But like, I think he's a great actor. I can very much see that happening.
He did that a couple years ago where he lost a bunch of weight, a bunch of muscle weight definition, and slimmed down for something. I don't remember what it was, but he's done it before.
Yes, maybe when he finally wraps it up, maybe he'll do that, look for some more serious roles. But again, I could see him getting nominated in stuff similar to what he's already doing.
Yeah, exactly. But getting back to John Cena's town hall, he says it's pathetic. You are pathetic. You wear words. I wear them every day. This is the point where I paused and I'm like, where are we? We're 20 minutes into the show already. Like, John has been going for 20 minutes and just like, that's impressive in and of itself, of just like monologuing like that for 20 minutes and being able to keep going. They don't have teleprompters. They don't have cue cards. For the most part, it's like off the dome. And so, like, that's just incredible to go 20 straight minutes of like just off the dome into the mic. And like, again, it's top-notch stuff.
Yeah, playing off the crowd really well. Like, yes, they'll have these written out before. And again, depending on the level of the guy and their comfort, sometimes it's bullet points. Like, some people do talk about how they just go mostly freestyle it.
Yeah.
But it's not even just what he said. Like we've been talking about the whole thing. It's how he interacted with the crowd, his expressions, his changes, the little like fake outs and the subtleties, the callbacks. Like, it was all there. Yeah. It was all there.
So, according to John, we use him as an excuse. All we've done is sit on our butts and watch him. Is that not the point, John? Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure. He says he's breaking up with us again. He did mention that this is an abusive relationship. We've been mocking him for 15 years. But then who comes out?
We get Cody Rhodes.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Again, John, this was great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I need 25 minutes of anybody. So Cody comes out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Play the song, hit the pose, all that good stuff. He was like many people here, I was willing to hear you out.
Yeah. Well, real quick, before we get into that. So, it is Lent. We're both of Catholic origin.
Yes.
Catholic influence. When Cody was walking, there was a lot of, I think it's Good Friday, right? Where they do all the call and response when they're like, the priest is playing Pontius and then Pontius Pilate, and then the crowd is like, the audience is the crowd, and they're like, crucify him.
So sort of places will do like liturgical plays like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like I know every Friday we would have Stations of the Cross.
Yes.
Like we would have that in school, and they went through all the, I think it was 12, then became 13, or 11, then became 12 Stations of the Cross.
Don't ask me. So there was already like that call and response sort of thing going on during the town hall, and when Cody comes out and he's walking out and he goes up on the barrier on the catwalk, and there's like all of those people grabbing him, like that looked like a Jesus moment too.
That's a good point.
And I was like, whoa, we're heavy on the religious influence today and the overtones. So I thought that was just super interesting as Cody's coming in to sort of break up this, frankly, whiny speech from John Cena. And again, an incredible pop. Everybody stands up. They're singing along with the Def Rebel American Nightmare song. And Cody gets his own song. It dies down. And then he starts playing again. Here's the thing. We're 30 minutes into the show.
Just about, yeah.
So, at that point, Cody stands up. He says, "You were special. You could take it. You could carry it." John Cena says, whatever, kid. And Cody says, it's certainly not a kid. It's WWE champion.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Greatly delivered. Great played by both of them. And then Cody continuing, I want to go face to face with John Cena, and I got this, just gesturing at him, and then finished with another killer line here. I hope this whiny bitch does not show up at WrestleMania.
Oh, and also, who the hell are you? Where's the guy on this shirt? And like points at the shirt.
Oh, I didn't get that down. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, a phenomenal performance from Cody. Again, like doing the anti-hero thing. Like really wrestling with this notion of like Cena being the hero and like turning heel, especially on Cody like that during such a big moment for him. After Cody walks out, he flashes the title, and John really has nothing else to say, right? It's just kind of silent. He kind of just sits in the moment, and then drops the mic. And like again, really like hitting the point of like Cena as a physical performer, right? As a comedic performer, he's fantastic. As a wrestler, he's amazing. But in this dramatic moment, again, an incredible performance from Cena. Is some of it real? I'm sure probably like some of the emotions that he's feeling are real, right? Like he's probably tired of some certain things, like the jokes that we make about not being able to see John Cena, right? And I'm sure there's like some things that get to him as well, but like it is really impressive how just long he went, and then like the dramatic tension with Cody, having Cody come out, their interplay, their dramatic interplay, and then just the ending there, John sitting in the moment, letting it wash over him, and then just walking out.
The mic drop was great. It was everything that it needed to be, and again shows his you don't really deserve anything. And I thought it was really great of WWE to kind of continue to spoon feed us, but also kind of throw us something new. To go back to the announce table, and Cole actually calls Cena a prick.
Yeah,
which I was surprised by. Michael Cole's usually like pretty clean guy across
pretty
the board,
PG.
like pretty PG. So that was very unexpected. And then again, to go with the theme of the worst person you know goes to therapy. Corey Graves just says, well, he was just out here speaking his truth, talking about John Cena.
I mean, Corey's not wrong.
The worst person you know into therapy.
It's John's
Two
truth.
sessions of therapy.
2 sessions.
2 sessions and quit.
Yeah, anything else you want to talk about with John Cena, Cody Rhodes, the intro to this?
I said this off mic before. I could probably do like almost 2 shows just on this with different callbacks and everything else. But we hit all the highlights. There's a lot left of a really good show that I want to talk about. So I'm good there for now.
Yeah, let's get into it. Next up, we had Ludwig Kaiser versus Penta. This was hyped up from last week. Something that I believe Corey Graves mentioned was Ludwig will need to tap into his inner Patrick Bateman from American Psycho.
I was going to say, I did hear that.
Yikes. Yikes.
Never seen that.
Yikes. Penta, of course, gets the Ole Ole Sierra Miedo. And as the match starts, Penta gets thrown into the timekeeper area real quick. And Penta goes into walking on the barricade into a Hurricane Rana, which I know what it is now. I was like, ooh, Hurricane Rana. I was like, very cool.
Hurricane Rana. And then, of course, Penta hits the dive, and then they're out by the announce table, and Ludwig hits a pretty nasty Death Valley driver on the announce table. Mm-hmm. He really planned him pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
And then, again, it's not a heel against a luchador if he doesn't try and rip the mask off. Mm-hmm. Penta hit this really cool, it was kind of like a loaded backstabber, if you remember. He was backed into the corner, and he kind of flipped over the top of Ludwig and carried him over, and he landed on both his knees.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome. I don't know if I'd seen that before, so I would love for that to be something that gets in the rotation here.
Something that happened during the unmasking was Ludwig taunting Penta and saying, "Escúchame, you will fear me."
Oh, yeah, when he right, because that was when I believe he brought in the chair and kind of tried to choke him in the corner, right?
Yep.
And
there was some action. There was a lot of action, not just like with the chair being used to do shots, but just like throwing each other on the chair as well.
No, absolutely, and that really leads kind of down to the finish here. So, like I said, Ludwig's in the corner trying to kind of choke Penta. Mm-hmm. Penta does this really cool kind of roll through to get to the sacrifice. Yep. Which is where he takes the arm, like when he snaps the arm back. That move,
the
hyperextension.
Hyperextension.
Yeah, he calls it the sacrifice, and I think it's so cool.
My elbow hurts thinking about it.
And then Penta's kind of G'ing up on Kaiser in the corner. Mm-hmm. And Kaiser's like, no, I quit. It's over, you win. And, like, the ref just stares at him. The ref doesn't, like, I don't know why.
The ref's not going to call it.
Like, I don't know why that wouldn't count. Like, there's plenty of matches where, like, you can verbally say, I quit, or you can tap, but whatever. And then he's just using it just so he can gouge Penta's eyes anyway.
Yeah, which is a cheap shot, but
God dang
what do you expect from Ludwig?
And then Penta comes back, hits the Mexican Destroyer on a chair, and then the Penta Driver as well, and then gets the pin.
One thing that I noticed as Ludwig was standing up was his back was bleeding.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, no, when he got thrown on the chair or something, he definitely cracked his back open a little bit. But yeah, no, a great match from Ludwig and Penta. Like on the ramp, Penta meets up with Kathy Kelly to do a quick post-match interview.
And it's all about, what's next for Penta. Mm-hmm. And he basically gets to that he's going for the Intercontinental Championship.
Right.
Like I said before, how's this guy not already have a title? I think him and Braun can do so much cool stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, if Braun retains later tonight, because we know that him and Finn Balor will be coming up in the main event tonight over this Intercontinental Championship. Penta does not care who comes out, but he's setting his sights on the Intercontinental Championship.
In Spanish, he says something about your mother.
Nice.
I picked that up. And then Yo soy el Penta and Cero Miedo. And I was like, okay, cool. I know that. That means I am Penta. No fear. We do got to brush up on the Spanish. Duolingo, Babbel, sponsor shows.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
All right. And then after the interview with Kathy Kelly and Penta, we go to our Judgment Day sketch. The one thing that I wanted to talk about with Judgment Day real quick was, on SNL, how they do the cold open and then they do the host monologue, and then it's a commercial, the commercial parody. That's just what Judgment Day feels like. It's like, okay, we have the opening, an intro, town hall, match, whatever. We do another match, town hall, whatever, and then Judgment Day sketch.
Just got to get them in. They must still be popping ratings.
Yeah, absolutely. Finn and Liv, of course, trade pleasantries. They're so nice to each other.
I specifically wrote all the fake good luck in your next matches were exchanged.
Yeah. Dom comes to Finn with a proposition. He wants to add Penta to the Judgment Day as a muscle.
Well, and it's very funny because, again, mere minutes ago, Penta is like, I'm declaring myself for the Intercontinental Championship. So Finn immediately takes it as like, did you not, literally says, did you not just hear him declare he's coming after my Intercontinental Championship, right? Obviously, pointing like he's already going to win tonight.
Well, is that not Finn just being confident?
No, like that's totally fair.
That's manifesting.
But you actually hear it like after they break at the end. Dom just goes, oh, I didn't know he was going to do that. Like so sad sounding. It was incredibly funny. But
it's like he just like didn't think about it in between. He's like, oh well, I just watched Penta win. We should add him because he just won. Yeah,
like right, like he definitely was like watching the match, and then after the match was over, like started walking to meet up with the Judgment Day, so he didn't see the Kathy Kelly promo. Like he missed that live. But that ends with just Finn calling Dom a snake, and then tipping out it. That's when Dom sounds very sad. He's like, I didn't know he was going to do that.
We then transition into Dakota Kai versus Ivy Nile. So Ivy Nile, a member of the American Made stable, facing off here against Dakota Kai. Chad Gable shows up in a suit, no mask.
Yeah, so Dakota Kai representing Damage Control, by the way. Shout out Damage Control.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, Chad Gable comes out. They do the classic Michael Cole's like, oh, where's your mask? Like this and that, playing the like, we know you did it. Corey Grace being like, what are you talking about? Chad being like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah.
As far as the match, one thing that Dakota Kai does that I always think is she makes look really good is that like long boot scrape when someone's down in the corner, like that boot rake across the face, like that kick just always looks so beautiful to me. And then of course, if Chad's out here, he's going to get involved.
Right.
He starts to go and distract Dakota.
Yep.
And then I wish I had more to say about this, but literally, like, I was like, I don't know what Ivy hit, but that was bananas.
Yeah.
I wish I had more content. I don't know if you had any more detail. I guess I must have been rushing to try and get. That's all I wrote, and I really want to know what it was.
Like, the action between Dakota and Ivy, and like, this is a complaint I have about this match, is it's like, Dakota and Ivy are two very talented wrestlers, and like you have all this action going on in the ring, but it's all overshadowed by like Chad Gable and then Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee coming out, and it's not about Dakota and Ivy, it's more about Chad, and that's a complaint I have. I understand that it's like it's the stable, they want to make sure all the faces get, or like all the people in the stable get an equal amount of time, but I just feel like it was distracting for Dakota and Ivy, not literally, well, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, kind of like I talked about with SmackDown. This is something that I wish had more time. I think they probably could have cut some other stuff because after that distraction, like I said, Ivy hits that insane move. Again, I'll have to go back and actually maybe when we post on social, I'll look at what it actually was, or we'll steal that clip and I can just be like, see this thing right here. So Ray and Dragon come down, attack American Made, right, and chase Chad totally out. Yes. I'm already thinking, I'm like, now this masked bastard is going to come
right back
get
out
in the way. But what ended up happening is Ivy just kind of watched Chad as he got chased out, just being totally just like, oh man, there goes Chad. Oh man, and like Dakota Kai just comes
takes advantage,
just hits her GTK, her go-to kick, and wins, and that was it. And like the worst part is like that was supposed to be revenge from before. It's like it was just a very unsatisfying end. Like hopefully they'll go again. We'll be like, oh, there were more distractions. Like maybe they throw a stipulation something in there. I hope there's more. I think they're both really good. I want to see them get a real length match.
Yeah, me too. we get a reminder after that match that we're only 33, now 32 nights away from WrestleMania. And speaking of WrestleMania, we have the contract negotiation. Really, it's a signature. There's not much of a negotiation for Io Sky and Bianca Belair to sign the contract to secure their title fight at WrestleMania in April.
I got very excited at first. I thought Io was going to cut a promo first, but then I just went, oh, and I'm like, oh right, and Bianca contract signing. Starts with GM Adam Pearce. Mm-hmm. I put presiding. I don't know if that's the right term. It just felt like he really was presiding over this.
Executing.
Yeah. The long way. So Io starts talking, saying, Bianca and Rhea, like, no one will disrespect me again. I'm the women's champion. Mm-hmm. And after WrestleMania, I still will be.
Yep.
Once again, showered with "You deserve a chance." Again, This will always be an Io Sky podcast. She deserves it. She deserves it. She deserves it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely agree.
Bianca, when she, and then Io signs it, right? She's officially confirmed for WrestleMania. Bianca then does say that last week is low-key her fault.
Yes.
Because, again, if you remember, Io hit her and Bianca after they both kind of like pie-faced her away as they were yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Bianca reminded everyone that she is the EST of WWE. Mm-hmm. One being the standard, right? And then being fastest, strongest, quickest. Again, all around best. But it wouldn't be a contract signing if there wasn't some kind of twist coming here.
Some sort of shenanigans.
And what happened?
Well, it's mommy time.
She comes out immediately.
Rhea Ripley.
Oh, come on. If you don't know.
Yes, if you don't know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Yeah, mommy comes out, immediately headbutts Bianca. Bianca is laying out on the table. She takes Io, powerbombs Io on top, and takes the contract, signs her name. Now, I forgot to ask our legal team to weigh in on this. With my basic knowledge and understanding of legal signatures and how all that nonsense works, I don't think it's binding, but she says it's binding, so I'll just do whatever mommy tells me to.
I wrote underneath in bold, can't be legal. I know every contract I've ever signed, it usually has my name underneath, so I know where to sign, and usually I still need someone to put the sticky notes of saying, hey, sign here, idiot. Yeah, you go to the green sticky notes. Red sticky notes, green sticky notes. Yes, green sticky notes, green sticky notes. Yes. But again, with that, they when they were in each other's face, again, they pie-faced Io, and that's why Io came in and kind of tried to hit Rhea after, and then, man, Rhea picks her up and riptides her on top of Bianca, who's already on the table.
Yep,
that table does not break.
No,
that table does not break.
What
a
great table! Drop the link.
They've got to gimmick that one. And not only does Rhea sign the contract, she leaves with it. She's just like, I'm out of here, and takes it.
Yeah, no, and that's also great too, where she's just like, well, I signed it, so now it's mine.
Possession, 9/10 of the law.
You're right. I think that's a big tenet of bird law. Now that I'm an expert on. All right, and then after that, we go to the bowels of the stadium in Brussels there. And Jay, wants to start cutting a promo. Jay Uso, main event, wants to start cutting a promo. He says, start my music. And then the ring general, Gunther, interrupts.
Oh, hold on. I got to jump in here. You cannot just breeze over what Jay Uso said.
What else did Jay say?
Jay Uso goes, my mind has been playing tricks on me.
Oh, yes.
I've been down myself. I flew halfway across the earth to kick someone's ass.
Oh, yes.
And then as he's going out, Gunther tries to meet him at Gorilla, which is the space right before you walk out, named after Gorilla Monsoon.
Gotcha.
They kind of meet at Gorilla. They never really touch. There's some pushing and shoving. And then they play Jay Uso's music. And then, the place comes unglued.
Michael Cole says he yeets every week.
I purposely didn't write that down, I'm pretty sure.
I was a little disappointed in Michael. So, again, this is Austin Theory. Austin Theory versus Jey Uso. Austin Theory usually has his little crony, Grayson Waller, with him.
A-Town Down Under.
Down Under. They're usually tagging along. Grayson immediately distracts Jey Uso. Theory takes advantage and then immediately mocks Jey. But Jey has the last laugh.
Yeah, and this, again, I think it was like 20 seconds. After that happens, Jey just hits a crossbody. I've never seen Jey win with a crossbody.
Yeah.
Ever. I was incredibly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
And then so he wins, and then he almost has himself a little accident here.
Oh, yeah. He almost beefed it.
Did you catch that? He goes to do his dive over the ropes, catches
Yes.
his foot very bad, lands, like kind of rolls himself up on the apron a little bit. And I thought he was just going to, he was in the ring and he was smiling. I thought he was just going to go hit it again. But then it wouldn't be a Jey Uso match in the last 3 weeks if Gunther didn't come out and put him in the sleeper hold.
Yeah. Gunther does slip out of the sleeper hold, though. And he does end up ripping the title off of Gunther's waist. Gunther looked like he was gonna cry. He was a very sad boy.
He was very surprised. He was definitely not prepared for him to take that from him. And then because it was very funny, literally all Jey does is pull the rope down as Gunther's running at him, and he just like tumbles out like ass over tin buckets. And then Jay's on the post closest to him, flexing with the title. And then I was like, is Jey going to keep this? And he just tossed it back to him, like, whatever, you can have this back. Like, it'll be mine soon enough. Like, and I thought that was a very cool way to end it, right? The last however many weeks it's always been Jey ending up choked out. Like, and again, now it's starting to, build up his momentum to where it's like, okay, like he can do this. And he's starting to believe in himself, right? He says, I've been doubting myself, and now it's time for him to flip the switch, as they say.
It's time for him to flip the switch. Do you remember what's coming Gunther's way?
Say more.
A Yeet Army.
There will be a Yeet Army out in Las Vegas.
A Yeet Army in Las Vegas. We go backstage again, and Adam Pearce and Rhea Ripley are arguing over Rhea's attempt to sign the contract for the title match at WrestleMania. And then Bianca attacks. Io rips her off. Bianca fights back. Rhea just starts slamming everybody around. It was a good time.
Did you see how Rhea threw Io like directly into a door?
Yes.
Like Io jumped crazy, and it was so awesome, right? And I believe that also ends with her finally giving in and giving the contract.
Yes.
And just continuing to say it's a legal document. It's a legal document. It's a legal document.
We cut back then to the main ring where we've got the Creed brothers of American Made facing off against Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio, fighting under the LWO moniker.
So I really like this match. Dragon and Rey, I think, have been unbelievable. Rey, since he's come back and he's had his stem cell treatments and all, has been moving like unbelievable. The best he's moved in years.
Yeah.
Dragon Lee takes over early. Creeds, of course, use a distraction as the heel team. We get a Rey hot tag. He hits an insane tilt-a-whirl head scissors where he really just throws himself around.
Yeah.
We see Dragon Lee hit a Hurricane Rana off the apron. What I loved was there was one point where Creed tries to jump up to do a superplex to Rey.
Yep.
But he counters it into another like Hurricane Rana and bounced him off the middle rope so hard when he set him up for the 619. He literally almost like stood back up and had to throw himself back down.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Rey hits the 619, hits the splash, Masked Assailant jumps Rey and Dragon Lee.
Yeah, well, Latino World Order gets the victory there from the 619 into the Frog Splash. But yes, we do have the Masked Man returns. This goofy luchador. Some might even say El Luchador Loco.
Oh my god. So again, comes in and jumps Rey and Dragon, German suplexes. He actually German suplexed Rey on top of Dragon Lee.
Yep.
And then he pulled out a move that I didn't even know was kosher anymore. I thought they kind of very much moved away from this because of who used it before and effects and all they found.
Yes.
Delivers a diving headbutt.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. No, I didn't notice that. But obviously,
I did.
You did. You're smart like that.
He ends up getting chased out of the ring, and that is the end of that segment.
We have another recap of the Punk Rollins steel cage matchup from a few weeks ago. Oh, drama. So violent. Such wow. Seth Rollins, shout out to my Google that autocorrected it to Seth Collins. It was St. Patrick's Day yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Top of the morning to you.
Let's say, hold on. Let me stop. My very first thing in all caps is first things first. Charlie, outfit check, please.
Yeah, no. Seth comes out in the green. I'm really glad that you said that. He does come out. I was thinking he was gonna come out in like a green jacket, but like the jacket had like one side was dark and then there was like a green patch on it. Yeah, I think you deserve pinches for that. He did look like a leprechaun. With the boots and everything, and he's dancing around. Come on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
God. Seth Rollins, again, after looking like a leprechaun, as I've been told, as it's been described to me, first says, am I mad as hell Roman Reigns came for revenge? No. I would have done the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
One awesome thing is he says Roman still needs his architect to build the moment for him. Previous name, gimmick per se of Seth Rollins, right? The architect saying again that all that Roman Reigns became and was because of what Seth Rollins did as a part of the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
He calls Punk the luckiest loser ever and says that if he just had a few more seconds, he would have put Punk's career on ice.
And remove the problem, he puts it.
He says, I'm here to clean up Roman's mess.
Mm-hmm.
Punk and Roman will be on SmackDown. I guess I'll just have to be there too. He also then makes sure to put over the main event. I guess they were like, yeah, we keep saying all these people will be here next week, but please watch the main event, please.
And he as he intros the main event, he does ask the crowd to sing him out, and they I don't even remember if they cue the music or not, but just like
no, the crowd just did it.
Yeah, that was amazing. Like 10 out of 10 crowd. 10 out of 10 crowd. They are going to be in Glasgow next week, and that's going to rock. Yeah,
Ooh.
You looked at me. Yeah, you looked at me.
Cool.
And I love Seth Rollins' cackle as well as he's walking out. It's fabulous. And then we had a quick appearance by the phenomenal one, AJ Styles.
This thing with Logan Paul is going to keep going, and I'm excited to see. Basically, AJ saying Logan Paul doesn't belong on this roster, and then a familiar face kind of peeks its head out here for us.
Karrion Kross.
I know I've mentioned this before on episodes, but he's continuing to get this this view as someone where once someone starts talking to him, things usually aren't going good for them. Talk to the New Day kind of before their whole falling out with Big E and all. And there have been a couple other examples where it seems like he's kind of leading people astray. And, he's just like, what if I just give you a different perspective? You want to stop talking? We'll stop talking. He says it didn't take Logan Paul 17 years to get to WWE and get all the validation he deserved. And then after AJ Styles is frustrated and walks away, he kind of looks into the camera and talks about how, it's going according to plan. Or the plan might just work.
The plan might just work. The one thing that I did want to mention before we get to the main event was, you noticed all the graffiti in like the bowels of the stadium.
No,
like
I didn't,
on all the walls and everything.
I did not look too closely. No.
When you look at like the bowels, like the backstage of most stadiums, arenas, especially in the U.S., it's pretty plain. It's very industrial. Like the team, like if they're at like when they're at like Wells Fargo here in Philadelphia, there's all sorts of Flyers stuff around because it is the Flyers stadium. But instead at the stadium in Brussels, which I forgot to write the name down of, they had all sorts of graffiti all over the place. And it was just really cool, really unique, and it like felt really lived in. Whereas like most like backstage stuff in WWE doesn't feel it feels like, oh, this is just cut and paste. This was like very clearly like, oh, this is this one place in the stadium in Brussels. I thought it was so unique. And then we get to the main event. And before we kick off the main event, I want to start off with a very, 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 very niche joke. Finn Balor looks like he went to North Penn Catholic. Like with the hair and the beard.
I didn't even know there was a North Penn Catholic.
Right? That was the one that closed down, or Judge, or whatever.
Oh, North Catholic in Philadelphia?
Yes.
Oh, I get what you're
Catholic,
saying. Okay.
yes. Yeah, I knew a kid who went there, and he was just like through and through Northeast all the way. And I was just like, yeah, Finn Balor looks like Northeast Philly for sure. But yeah. And then the thing that I put here was I'm just waiting for Judgment Day to come out. And then like 2 seconds after I typed it, they came out.
Yeah, it was very quick. They talk about on commentary how if Finn's going to win this, he kind of has to look for his opening, right? He's not going to outspeed Braun. He starts by getting technical, going with a headlock and like a side headlock, and Braun actually picks him up. I thought he was getting dumped, but Finn actually swings all the way through for like a really nice side headlock takedown. Again, everyone seems to be doing this move where they just want to run outside the ring.
Yeah.
Like apparently anytime Braun speeds up, they call it breakneck speed. I heard them say that twice.
Yeah.
But as Braun is trying to do his breakneck speed, his Strowman Express, his yada, 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 Finn catches him with a really nice sling blade.
Yep.
To really kind of change the match there.
Mm-hmm.
Finn also hits a really nice side Russian leg sweep after Braun picks him up for a power slam. He counters out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Finn starts hitting like these like disrespectful like kicks and slaps. Like, you know who I am? No, I am, like scraping his boot on his face, like real, just like get over here slaps, like. And even on commentary, like, I do not know if this is the right move for him. Braun hits him with a crazy belly to belly, and then, like you said, bring in the clowns. Here come Dom and Carlito.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Dom was looking on, like he was disappointed he couldn't interfere as much as he wanted to. So Dom, of course, obviously distracts and interferes with Braun Breaker, while Carlito takes advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, they just try and do this numbers game, this confusion. In everything going on, Finn tries a roll up, no dice there.
Yep.
Braun gets him up for a press slam, and JD counters to a really nice elbow and a 2 count. Eventually, they fight outside the ring, and Breaker does that leaping clothesline off the announce table. This is where I realized his mouth was bleeding. I don't know when he got busted open. Looked like his lip or his cheek, maybe. But again, Finn battles back, hits another sling blade, his missile drop kick, but misses the coup de grace. Ends up going for another coup de grace, and Braun jumps up to superplex him. Dom comes in again, knocks Breaker down, but also manages to crotch Finn. So Finn was still on the top rope.
Yes. When
Breaker jumped up. Dom jumps up, pushes pushes Braun Breaker down. But JD McDonough falls. Like I said, gets crotched, like classic. You think like, so falls on, splits. And then this allows Breaker to come back and hit the Frankensteiner.
I think they called it a Breaker Steiner on the commentary.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know he related to the Steiners, right? Nepo baby of wrestling, as I always joke about with my wife. So yeah, hit a Frankensteiner, hit a spear, and wins.
After the match, Dom and Carlito beat up on Breaker. The ref is nowhere to be found, right?
Yeah, last match is over, show's over. He got paid. It's over.
Yeah, no, it's over. I got
envelopes in the back.
I got beers to drink in my dressing room. But then in order to restore order, Penta comes out, and Penta doing what Rey Mysterio has not done in taking care of Dirty Dom, throwing him around. And then setting up this face-off between him and Breaker. Again, holding the belt up in front of Breaker to say, hey, this is yours right now, but I'm going to have it next.
Yeah, 2 different times tonight they had someone end up with the title from a champion, right? It was different when Jay took it from Gunther.
Yes.
This was different. It was kind of already on the ground from after the match and everything going. When Penta cleans house on Dom and Carlito, Breaker hits Carlito with the spear, so they both have their standing tall moment.
Yeah.
And again, Penta really just took a minute to pick it up and kind of take it and drink it in, but gives it back to him, right? Penta's here for the fight of it. He's here for the chase of it. And I think they're going to do such cool things together. Braun is so strong and so fast. Penta's willing to do whatever to have an amazing match. Like, if you go back and watch some of his Lucha Underground stuff, like he will do anything to have a great match.
Yeah, no. And again, just building up to that, and again, what Connor said earlier, hopefully we can see some gold, some weight on Penta there. You've been telling me the past 12 hours or so. This was a fantastic episode, fantastic weekend all around. I do have to agree with you. I was a little underwhelmed by certain aspects, and especially last night, Monday night. I mean, I think it was 10 out of 10 episode. Like half of that was the crowd, right? You had the crowd playing in the Cena Town Hall, singing Rollins in and out, all the action going on there. I thought it was really fantastic. And then, did you have any other thoughts on Raw before?
More great setup for WrestleMania. Again, I would love to see some more time and telling some more things within the matches. I feel like we're getting a lot of promos because, again, they're setting up for 2 days of WrestleMania coming down the pike here, and whatever it is, 32 nights now.
Yep.
But again, we're kind of seeing more pictures get cleared up. We have clear pictures for most of the titles, right? Some of the biggest dancers don't have a partner yet, so they're gonna have to start closing some of those holes soon if they really want to get the build going.
Yeah, definitely. They've got 8 hours of time to fill over 2 nights, so hopefully we'll start to see that picture shake out a little bit more. How far do you think this Chad Gable storyline is going to go? Do you think that's going to be at WrestleMania, or do you think that's just going to be something that fills us out on Raw here? Something that plays out on Raw here.
I'm worried it's going to go longer than that.
Yeah,
like I'm worried that it's going to be kind of just a way more general back to the American made versus the LWO. I feel like it's just gonna, and then like I could see that being something they're like, all right, like after WrestleMania, that could be something that we already have like out there that we can kind of jumpstart with.
Gotcha. Yeah, because we still have stuff going on in May. We've got the event going on in Tampa, and then stuff going on Memorial Day weekend. There's lots of stuff still coming up. So,
oh yeah. So the build's not done. Work's not done.
In the immutable words of Smash Mouth, so much to do, so much to see. Am I wrong?
Never said that.
Okay, cool. Well, anything else on the weekend before we get to the outro here? We finish up.
No, let's just keep, again, I feel like it's been a great streak of shows. I've really enjoyed what they're doing right now. Again, keeping things interesting with John Cena. Again, a lot of other little moving parts.
Yep.
Just keep this going. This has been a better build. Like last year it was, I think right now it was still to finish the story and how's it actually going to go. So to have some things figured out and still some things more of a mystery is actually really nice.
Yeah, no, gotta agree. Well, we're going to come back in just a quick moment here, wrap up the show, but you are listening to The C Show. We're here on The C Show. This is our last segment, wrapping up and talking about some things going on here in the Philadelphia area if you're around. The first one is Combat Zone Wrestling at Neshaminy Brewing Company, April 6th. We're not too sure about the time on that. Unfortunately, we're not able to make that. We will be at the next CZW event that we can make. Also on April 6th is a AEW Dynasty event at the Leah Core Center at Temple University in North Philadelphia. I might be there. We will see. I have a wedding to go to that weekend, but then we'll see if I'll be able to race home, make it to that. But if you're coming out to the AEW event, the AEW Dynasty taping at the Leah Core Center, let us know at the socials at the end of the show here. So before we go and wrap up the C Show for this week, episode 3, Connor, do you have any final thoughts?
There's no time like the present. Let's keep going.
And there's nothing like being alive on a Tuesday night or Thursday morning, afternoon, Friday, whenever you're listening to this show. We're just happy that you're with us. So
appreciate it. Thanks for letting us do this, and let's keep on.
All right, folks. Well, we'll be back next week. Again, this is The C Show. Thanks again for joining us on The C Show. If you liked the show, please make sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share it with your friends. Follow The C Show on social media. We're on Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook, and YouTube at cshowpod. That's C as in Charlie, or C as in Connor, SHOWPOD. And if you have a question for us, please send it in, cshowpod@gmail.com. You can find Charlie on Instagram at CharlesFStew and on Blue Sky at CharlesFStewart.com. Connor is on Blue Sky at bsdoj.bluesky.social. The name is Cliff. Thanks to our friends Amir and Patrick for their assistance. The C Show is a production of 832 Media. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll be back next week.